body. Now rock our body. Satisfied. Get satisfied. Just 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 get satisfied. Well, you feel really about wow. And just touch me till I can get my satisfaction. Till I can get my satisfaction. Push me and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction. Push me. Push me. Okay. Let me link this to places. What my name is.
Well, what is it?
Edgar. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going through my. This is just cycling through my SoundCloud.
Happiness family photos that come in the restaurant's tacky frame.
Why are you so fucking negative all the time?
What?
Sorry, okay, hold on. I'm still figuring this stuff out. Okay. 66654. Okay. Do you think you're better off alone? Oh shit, Bandcamp's moving to Stripe? Sorry, I just saw that. I don't want it to be too loud. Uh-oh. Hold on. Alright. Do it like this. Alright. Alright. I got it. I got it. I promise. I promise. I got it. I got it now. Hold on. Anything in chat? I don't know if it's going to probably tell me anything in chat. Alright. Hello, everyone. Hold on, let me get this out of here. Hello, everyone. Hello. So, as you could probably tell, I decided to do something funny decided to do something kind of dubious. I was thinking about doing this for like a while, but I'm just talking to a wall right now. I couldn't think of any other way to do this, so I'm just gonna. I live streamed this, but I generally don't care whether or not anyone's going to actually like look or respond to what I'm saying. I'm just gonna keep trucking with it. So today, let me just I just had the window capture. There we go. As you can see, this is my Bandcamp. We're specifically scrolled very down below here, and beyond this point is all my drafts, all of my drafts. So thought it'd be interesting if I did like kind of like a little, I guess you could call it like retrospective stream question mark, like a little, like I'm looking back at old stuff, um just for fun, like I've kind of come a pretty far way. I've been making music for longer than I've had a band camp. um like since I was like 11 years old, I would be posting stuff like everywhere. Like YouTube was the main spot. Was the stuff that I made at 11 years old good? No, but thought it'd be interesting to kind of look back at all this other fun stuff. And because C1TRUS is kind of the poster child of my EDM music journey, I thought it would be appropriate to start with C1TRUS. So, I mean, I could like butter up all these words and stuff, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna go for it. Um, yes, I know we're changing how payouts are done on Bandcamp. Yes. Um, so what can I say about this? Okay. So I am gonna drop a bit of a bomb. With the kind of inspiration point for why C1TRUS is the way it is, at least like design wise. Um, when I started this whole thing, I was getting really into. I say into. I discovered and had a better understanding of the concept of little space. Um, and that was something that kind of like, happened to me. And I, I don't know if it makes it better or worse to say that is something that happens to me unwillingly, for the most part. Um, but I, it is something that I have had experiences with and stuff. So I just kind of, C1TRUS was just kind of my attempt to like, I don't know, take back control on that and kind of make it into like a fun thing. So when I first started C1TRUS, it was supposed to be this kind of like, the title of C1TRUS is a completely different concept. I wanted to make like kind of dark electronic and like house music under the name C1TRUS. And then I made Brooke Hayes, and that kind of went out the window. So I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna turn this into like a happy EDM sort of thing, and like make it feel whimsical and make it feel like I'm kind of like taking back control of something that I don't really have control over. Which generally for the most part, yeah, that I definitely felt good when I was making this. Was I in a good place back then? Not necessarily, but I'll get into that in a little bit. I'm trying to remember what I put in the description here. Story of a small dog fighting her way to the top of the land made entirely of endless playgrounds. Oh yeah, this was gonna have way more album visuals. It's gonna have way more creative work done with it than what came out with it. Um, and that is kind of a common theme with a lot of my stuff. a lot of my older stuff, especially. I had a lot of big ideas, but I didn't really have a method of executing them properly. At least not without asking one of my partners, Stefan, aka Looney Pendulum, has genuinely been the backbone of so many of what I consider to be my hits, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of people come back to me about, like, the songs that I made where Stefan has made visuals for them. And that's mostly just coincidence and, like, algorithm and stuff, but I still think that's pretty funny. Um, so, I mean, I'm trying to think of other things to say, but like the most that you really gotta know is that my initial plan was that this little character here, this is not Dottie. This was a different girl that I made. She was based off of this treble clef Webkins dog that I always wanted as a kid. And her name I think was Octavia, and her and this girl here and this kiddo in the back and this little froggy guy in the corner and this shark cat girl, they were all going to have their own designs, their own visuals, and they were all going to be, they had a song each. Was what I wanted to do, which didn't really, but yeah. Other details that I can think of as far as what I was thinking of at the time. I don't know. I was just trying to get really back into making, like, wackier music, I guess. Like, I feel like before then I was kind of just keeping myself on the safe side, and while Pilot Technonomicon was still, like, a fun thing to do, I didn't feel like it was, everything I wanted to do. So I was just kind of trying to branch out too. But yeah, enough of my yapping. All right, enough of my yapping. Y'all already know the deal. I'm just gonna get into the first track here, which is "It's Under the Sauce." Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. Sorry. The way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna play a track each, and then just tell you generally what I was thinking, if I can remember anything I was thinking, and then go to the next track. All right. Okay. I don't- I started this thinking that I would have a lot to say about each of these different tracks, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember my full thought process with It's Under the Sauce. I feel like a lot of the songs that I made with Playtime Pit were very like I wasn't making them in like a zoned out state. I was more so making them like in a state of this sounds good enough. But because that's what I was used to doing with a lot of my music releases. I felt like if I didn't finish something within the day, then it was not worth it. But I think what I do remember is I was really trying to like think of like a good random like intro, and I wanted to be whimsical. And this was kind of my very first attempts at happy hardcore. I didn't have a lot of good happy hardcore sound packs, so I just kind of made things that sounded like adjacent to it with what I had. And I mean, it was definitely a attempt, that's for sure. I don't hate it, but I don't really have much to say about it. It's an intro track, and I don't know. I think it's cute. Um, this one is definitely. I have some things to say about this one. The next one is called Smile Machine, which is significantly quieter, I think, for some reason. All right. Um, yeah, so Smile Machine. I remember I made it and I was really hyped about it. I remember that. I think, yeah, the Dance Dance Revolution sound effects weren't initially going to be in there. What I was trying to find were these really specific DDR sounds. I forgot which game it was. Um I forgot which game it was, but it was supposed to be like the same sounds that you hear in the Neon Neko Sugar Girls intro. And one of the sounds I really wanted to find was the one where this guy shouting, "You're not an ordinary fella!" Uh, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. And I only got an answer to it by the time I released this album. And I think that's devious and twisted. But yeah, I still really like that one. I still really like Smile Machine. Um, I think both It's Under the Sauce and Smile Machine, I do have remasters in the works for them. Um, and hopefully I can remember where that person told me the "You're not an ordinary fella" sound comes from, because it is so joyous. um, this next track is called G3 Pinky Party Party's like a G6, which I am very opinionated about, but I'll just I'll play it first. We'll get to this one in a second. Okay, so that one, yeah. So despite the track order of the album, that was actually my very first attempt at a kind of jovial little speedcore, heavy hardcore track. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to make something, and so I just slapped everything on my laptop together. That weird little like weird kick, semi kick that you can barely hear over everything else. That is actually sampled from a different song. It is from the very end of a Renard song. Actually, I think. I don't know why I chose that specifically. I haven't really listened to that much anything related to that artist in a pretty long time, but I was looking for a really specific type of kick, and I had a very distinct lack of wanting to do my own work, so I sampled a lot of kicks and stuff back then from like other tracks, and I would just kind of mess with them that way. The the dubious Renard kick you'll actually hear a few other times in this album as a whole, because I just thought it was that good, I guess. But yeah, I was really trying to like figure out what I wanted to do with C1TRUS at this point, and I think I just really wanted to lean into all like the kiddie whimsy and stuff. and like kind of just make it feel like a happy corner basically. um which lasted about one album, as we'll get into. um but yeah, I mean, a lot of this process I was just kind of putting stuff together because it sounded cool. I think this next one is where I kind of got a little more into like trying to sound more old school, quote unquote. There will be many times where I attempt to sound old school and completely fumble, as we will see in a little bit. Oh yeah, and this track is called Polka Dot Dot Dot. Oh brother. We'll get into that one in a little bit. All right, so this kind of returns to the initial theme that this album was going to have, which was a track per character. So this little red clown dog that you see on the album cover, this was going to be her song. Her name was Penelope Polka Dot, and I still love her design. You don't really see it in the album cover for some reason, but her torso is like one of those little bouncy ball dispensers. Um, a very jovial character design that I had. I made a lot of pretty joyous character designs, and I think the funniest part is that the only one that survived technically is little purple dog in the tunnel. Their name is Mary and Barry. But yeah. um, I just wanted to make like a bouncy track, I guess. I wanted to be all bouncy with it, so I made this little springy dog character, and I tried to make something that felt very bouncy and fun, which I think I kind of did. Like, okay. Um, definitely like, I don't know. This is definitely in like a very I'm just fucking around stage. Um, I do remember showing it to I remember showing it to my friend uh Kaine, and she was like really hyped about it when I when I first made it. Um, yeah. I send a lot of stuff to my friend Kaine though, and she's always like, holy shit, man. Banger. Um, but yeah, this next song is called Tadpole Lullaby Hour. I think it's another character song. This was actually the fun part about Tadpole Lullaby Hour was I'll get into it after the song actually. Are y'all ready for more of that devious kicks in? Oh god. This has like a really long outro. There's nothing at the end of that. So Stefan, aka Looney Pendulum, actually made a frog character, which you can kind of see in the corner of this album cover here. And this nefarious kick follows us everywhere throughout the entirety of this album. I don't remember if I ever used it again after this point. Because again, I think I literally just took it out of the end part of like Namex by Renner. I just took it out of the end of that song. Um, but and then I ended up finding like actual like kicks in like sample packs after this album. But Tadpole Lullaby Hour was just gonna be like a little song that I made based off of the Frog Prince character that Stefan made. And it was kind of a rushed one because I kept telling myself that I was gonna make it, and then I kept checking it out for some reason. Like I kept like not finding something that sounded good, and fit like the character. But not bad. But what I do know is what I do know is that the reason why the song sounds like that is because I was going to vocode a really specific niche sample with it. I was going to sample Baby Giraffes, and I forgot which specific song it was, but like the specific lyric that I wanted to like repeat through it was something something. What's a girl to do? What's a girl to do when I'm standing right in front of you? And I was gonna vocode it to kind of like sing like along with the lead. That ended up sounding like garbage though because I cannot vocode for the life of me. Not yet. Not yet. I only have Audacity on my side so far. Maybe there's a better like vocoder that'll do me better justice. But there's a different timeline where that is way more eventful than it is. But yeah, let me just next track is Puppy Squared. Okay. I think this is like the last one where I consider the whole character thing. Puppy Squared belongs to the purple dog that you see in the album cover. Their name is Marion Berry Maple Leaf, and this was definitely a very like jovial one. This is where I remembered the reason I started making this song, which was not this song. The reason I started making this album, which was just kind of trying to like take power back with all my kidcore glory at the time. Which that was definitely a time. I think this is before I figured out any plurality within myself, so I had like a really big elaborate kin list, and I remember someone immediately clocking me for someone who has a little space. Because there are so many Littlest Pet Shop characters on there for no reason. And then a different person said, this is giving maladaptive daydreaming. It's a really, really beautiful time for me, I think. Anyways, Puppy Squared. I think my favorite in the album. Okay, so that one. Okay, so Puppy Squared. I remember Puppy Squared. I loved how that one turned out back then. That one had a lot of love put into it when I first made it. Um, Around the time that I was making that, around the time I was making this whole album, I for some reason watched the hell out of Blues Room. Not Blues Clues. I'm talking about like the like hyper specific like era of Blues Clues where they had a spin-off show with like puppets and like Blue could talk, and she had a baby brother named Sprinkles. Sprinkles is actually who inspired, who is now the poster child of my who's now the poster child of my hardcore music dot over here. Um and I don't know, I found like a internet archive folder of it at the time, and I just watched the hell out of Blues Room. And like I was smoking a lot of weed at the time, so what I would do is I would get finished with school, I would get driven home by one of my friends, rip the hell out of their Benjamin, forget to do anything else, and then just like watch like internet archived cartoons. And for some reason, just Blues Room was the shit for me, you know. And maybe it's because like I grew up with a lot of Blues Clues as a kid, but it was a very fun experience to just get high and watch funny dog puppets. But I decided I like at least at some point in this premature like more kidcore approach to citrus that I had at the time, I needed to sample I needed to sample at least Sprinkles like somewhere. And that was fun. I mean, I have some quarrels with how it's mixed, but otherwise I still really like Puppy Squared. It's a very joyous track. It brings me a lot of happiness. Um and then next up on this, I think we have just this one and then the two more, I think. After this one, which is called Blueberry Popsicle Abyss. But this is where I just kind of started throwing stuff at a wall. I had an idea of how I wanted to like make an ending to this, but like I wasn't really 1,000% sure how to execute that entirely. Um yeah, this one is called hold on. Where can I listen to this? You can listen to this on my Bandcamp. Give me 2 seconds. Let me get that real quick. You can also scroll pretty far back onto my SoundCloud, and then it has that. But let me edit the description to my stream real quick, if it'll let me do that without complication. The hell was my... Oh my goodness, you can see my stuff. Whoopsie, hold on. My mistake, chat. Let me edit the description there. I don't think that showed you anything personal. I think that just showed you my chat. But yeah, you can listen to it on my Bandcamp or my SoundCloud. I just edited my Bandcamp into the description of the stream. Back to this is Blueberry Popsicle Abyss, and the only thing I remember about this is that I was really fond of a specific Griffin McElroy clip.
It's pitch black
I almost forgot to turn my mic on, guys. But yeah, that's one of my many. I don't know. That was definitely a filler track. I think I was like, I had a bunch of ideas, like just kind of bouncing back and forth in my head. I think that is the last time in this album that I used that devious, deplorable kick synth. But what else can I say about that? That sample where it's like a girl saying, "Sorry guys, I tried." I've used that a couple times. The source of that sample is from the Littlest Pet Shop show. Not the web series, but like the show they had on Netflix for a bit. Hold on, trying to. It's called Littlest Pet Shop: A World of Our Own, and it's like the dog girl. She's trying to she's trying to like for like a slumber party, and she makes this like giant sundae, but it like melts into this big ol' like pool of sugar. And so she's like, okay, I mean, I tried to make something for you guys. um and then she just like eats the whole thing and then like bounces off the walls. A World of Our Own was another thing that I just was really, really into when I was making all this stuff. I don't know if I can say much about that besides like if you don't know about Tigger's Abyss from from Griffin McElroy's, like one of Griffin McElroy's like comedy sets. It's just about like it's about this like Winnie the Pooh ride at like Disneyland that feels like a bad acid trip. And the quote, "Time to bounce, motherfucker," kind of still lives in my brain even today. Like even when I'm out of high school, I feel like there's a lot of things from the McElroy brothers that just, even though I have not checked in to see what any of them are doing in years, like the old bits that they used to do, or they might still do like podcasting. I don't know. I haven't like checked up on what the McElroy brothers are doing lately. But just like so many bits from them are just so like ingrained into my personality. It's kind of stupid. Um, Next up, on this track is the second to last, I believe. It's called "Cool New Hardcore Dog Boy Lifestyle." Uh, I have a remaster of this on SoundCloud already called "Cooler Newer Hardcore Dog Boy Lifestyle." Um, and I like that one a little better. But if you've listened to that one on SoundCloud and never wondered what the old one sounded like, here it is. Yes, and you call it dog boy lifestyle despite the fact that it is obviously cat noises. Yes. um but I don't really have that much to say about that one. I just remember kind of like messing around mostly with like a bunch of GarageBand only synths and stuff. Well, mostly GarageBand only synths. There's that Mario Paint meow synth in there. I don't really have much to say about that one. I promise I'll have more to say about like once we get off of this album from C1TRUS, I'll have more to say. Bit crush noises are fun. Luckily, I do mess around with a lot more bit crushing the more we get out of this era. This one is called "This Place Is a Happy Place Because You're Here," and I remember being very like lovey-dovey with this one, but I don't remember it sounding very good. We'll see. I've only gotten through one album, and it's already been almost an hour, so this is gonna be interesting.
Happiness, it goes like a train on a track. Coming together, stuck still, no turning back. She hid in the wrong corners and she hid under the bed. So she ended with kisses and so long as she was there. Then she was sad with a drink and lost in the rain on the kitchen sink. The
You know what? That one doesn't actually sound as bad as I remember it. So that one was kind of like a very, I don't know, I was very lovey-dovey when I was making that. I was really happy for a lot of the people that I had in my life at the time. For some of them, I can definitely say I still am very happy I'd have them. I still say I'm very happy I have them in my life. For other people that I had in my life at the time, not so much, but you know, that's for another day. That one was, I forgot what it's called. Yeah, this place is a happy place because you're here. That one was kind of going back to the roots of like why I was making this album to begin with, which was first like, you know, I've said it like 5 billion times in this stream before. But I wanted to like add a bunch of songs that I liked in my childhood, so I added like Avril Lavigne and that really specific song from Florence and the Machine, and then I put in another Blues Clues sample in there. That little storybook is a Blues Clues sleepover bedtime story where Magenta is staying at Blue's house. And I think I came across a video of that girl reading it out of like complete like chance. Like I was just kind of scrolling through and it just suddenly came across on my feed and I was like, yo, wait. It's perfect for what I'm doing, you know? I don't know. I don't have much to say about that. What I will say about this album as a whole before I move to the next one is I'm noticing a pattern, which is these songs are a lot slower than I remember them being. I remember these being really fast in my brain for some reason, but they aren't that fast looking back at them. They're pretty slow and chill, which spoiler alert, you're not going to see slow. You're not going to see slow for a hot minute. Let me quickly move to the next album on this C1TRUS discography here, which is, okay, well, half an album, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So this is Splash and Dots Summertime Wild Sugar Rush Road Trip Mix. Try and say that 5 times fast, guys. But it is a, this is Splash Ducky was a different alias that I had at the time. And I thought that it would be funny if because I go and make stuff under multiple names, if I just started collaborating with myself. So this album is just a giant collab with myself. And this is definitely where C1TRUS turns into what we know C1TRUS as. Which and this is also where like a lot of people know C1TRUS songs. The way I'm gonna do this for this specifically though, because I plan on also doing a retrospective on Splash Ducky at some point, I am going to only do the parts of this album that feature C1TRUS. So yeah, so I'm only gonna do like a certain fraction of this album, and then everything else is gonna be saved for Splash Ducky. So starting off for the first track that features C1TRUS in this album, Ask Not Whom the Baja Blasts, It Blasts for Thee. strawberry chocolate milk. I fucking love Outcast. Ah!
It's time to kick gum and chew
And I'm all out of ass. Okay, hold on. There we go. We'll get into this bad boy in a second. Okay, so some context for the type of mind space that I was in. For Splash and Dots road trip mix. Hold on a second. Okay. My train of thought. Yes. Okay. So the specific mindset that I was in when I was making Splash and Dots Summertime Wild Sugar Rush Road Trip Mix, or I'm just gonna call it the Road Trip Mix. I don't know. It just turned summer, and I was still like in a really specific friend circle, and I was kind of in this really like manic state. I'm not gonna lie. At this point of my life, I was doing a lot of weed. I was smoking a lot of weed. And I kind of had this like, I don't know. I feel like the entire year in that like specific time frame just feels like a massive blur of I'm in my house, I'm in someone else's house, I'm in someone's apartment, I'm at the pool. And I kind of made this like as a whole, like, I don't know. I was just projecting my mania into a massive like vomit like zone. And I think it's definitely reflected with the next couple C1TRUS tracks I'm about to show y'all. Oh my god. For Ask Not Whom the Baja Blasts, I just remember I really wanted to. I had this like I just really wanted to sample Outcast, and the melody was stuck in my head on like my last walk home from school and then summer break. What if we tasted like strawberry mix? Hey, I have some massive news for you. There are some great fruity weed strains out there. Though I don't know if I've actually tasted one that tastes like strawberries, but I do know of one that tastes exactly like Baja Blast. True that. I think strawberries can make the world kinder. All right. The next track on the C1TRUS side of this mixtape is Antimatter Nothing Bagel.
Bagels!
You can definitely tell I made this when I was freshly 18. You can definitely tell I was making a lot of these tracks when I was freshly 18. But Antimatter Nothing Bagel, I remember what I did for that one is I just looked up a I think I wanted to look up really important videos, but I ended up doing something else. And uh I was really getting into a lot of different like like a lot of different types of like breakcore and like speedcore. I think this was around the time where I started like re-listening to Gore shit. I used to be like really big into Gore shit at a certain point in my life, and then I stopped listening to him for some reason. Stopped listening to them for some reason. I don't know. I don't know Gore shit's pronouns, but I love Gore shit. I love Gore shit. Um, and I was getting really inspired by a lot of their work. Um, hold on. Sorry, I was answering a text, but I this is where I started getting really into a lot of like the fun stuff. I think the uh screaming bit there is like scream bit there is it's Wednesday, my dude's fine. And there's just a bunch of other crazy samples and stuff. This is where I learned how to properly use samples, and I was just going crazy with it. And thank God I retired that weird distorted kick sound after this point. after I did Meet Me in the Playtime Pit, I like locked in and I was suddenly like, oh, I remember how to make speedcore. I think next up in the C1TRUS. Okay, yeah, these next 3 tracks are all C1TRUS tracks. Okay, before I I'm gonna play the next 2 tracks back to back because they're supposed to complement each other. One of them is the Neon Neko Sugar Girls intro, and then the second song is a bit from Neon Neko Sugar Girls. So we're just gonna crack into it. I remember these ones popping off when I played them live. Where's my good carrot? Oh, brother. Hold on, let me. There we go. All right. So lots to unpack with that one. Oh my god. Okay. This is kind of like, I know I definitely made those like when I was at like a crazy point in my life. I was like, I felt like I was freaking out a little bit at that point in my life. I was like, things just kept getting wilder, faster. The rest of the lyrics from that one song by the Cramps, but it really did just kept getting like wilder and like faster and stuff. I was just trying to like get as fucked up as possible. Bro killed a kid, that sample. I sampled the episode of Nyan Neko Sugar Girls where Raku-chan hugs a squirrel and it bites her and she contracts rabies. Literally. But yeah, no, it was getting kind of crazy. I mean, like, I call it crazy. I was like just smoking weed and going home, but it felt crazy when I was doing it in the moment. I felt like I was like on the wild side of life, you know, and it was just kind of dumb teenager bullshit, but I still felt crazy, rah, you know. The both of them I just kind of made like when a lot of the C1TRUS songs at this point of time were made when I was in like a really like manic state. I remember showcasing a lot of these to my dad and he'd be like, yeah, no, I could hear that a room over. It used to be, I used to make stuff so loud that it was like increasingly obvious when I was making music in my room because you could hear it through the walls. I would just like, I didn't use any headphones. I would just blast it and pray, you know. I'd say most of these still hold up. The next song in the mixtape is I Love Eating Fiber Optic Cables, and I'm going to, before playing this, bring out a former apology to any Homestucks that might have their sleeper agent activated the second I play this.
Time to take a piss. What the hell?
I just simultaneously whipped and ate it!
What the fuck, Richard? I don't even know if I could give a good commentary on that, but I do remember my first ever rave show. I put that on my set, and someone recognized it and came up to me later and was like, "Was that the Trickster virus on your set?" Then they proceeded to give me a perler bead pin, um, of a cat smoking a cigarette, and that was a really beautiful time. I remember getting really anxious after the set because I've never performed live before, and I got really shaky, and I had to go home early, which sucks because there were so many cool people there, and I would have loved to like stick around and hear more of their stuff, and it was really a great time. Um, but this after I was done performing, I just felt ill, so I had to leave early. But I woke up to $100 though. Hey. um, I Yeah, I remember there were a lot of people that came up and was like, "Oh my god, your samples are so crazy." I was like, "Oh my god." um, yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting situation in my life. Also just more messing around with like loud speedcore and whatever the fuck, just kind of like wall punching music. Really, I was downing monsters and Dr. Pepper mixtures and ripping fat yarts and just letting God guide me anywhere that doesn't kill me instantly, you know. um I was like I was bouncing off the fucking walls around this time, so there's a lot of music that I made to just bounce off the fucking walls too. Um this next song, hold on. So this next song is actually uh my first attempt at extra tone. And jingle jingle jingle. I don't know if extra tone is anyone's forte in the chat, but I uh wanted to just make it a simple 1000 BPM track. I could only though on my GarageBand uh do 999 BPM. So this is like honorary extra tone, you know? It's like it might as well be extra tone. It's almost there, you know? It doesn't sound like it's 999 BPM, but if it wouldn't lag my PC to stream GarageBand, I would show you it is 999 BPM. It's called Timote. Oh shit, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. You're not supposed to hear that track. Hold on. I accidentally opened my Spotify. Okay. Yeah, so that song was one of my hold on, which image is that? Okay. That was one of my first attempts at extra tone. I've never worked with sampling at that high of a BPM before. Would I ever do it again? Probably. Yeah, it like brain hurt and brain hurt good. It sounds like a migraine, and I'm glad that it sounds like a migraine. That was I was going through a lot of migraines back then, actually. I think the only other C1TRUS tracks in here are these two, but I mean, shit. What else can I say about these tracks so far? I've already kind of laid out the woodwork of just the general like thought stream that I've had like when I was making this when I was making this specific album. I was just kind of like in crazy mode because I felt like my life was about to be crazy, so I was just making crazy music. I think around this time there was a lot of escapades of drunk people, and I remember we made like a group therapy like burn book event where we like took all these like notebooks and we like wrote a bunch of frustrations in them, and then we put it in a big old burning pile under a bridge. That was crazy. But yeah, and then these last two tracks are kind of more like wacky little more peaceful, calm things, because every time I was very manic, I was also like I was like when a guy gets really drunk and he's like, I love you guys. It's kind of like that. My mania gets me like that sometimes. So this one is a Splash Ducky C1TRUS and Pilot Technonomicon feature called Nighty Night, aka Thank You for Being My Friend. And some cool background about this: the instrumentals to this were actually going to be part of the other album that we looked at, Meet Me in the Playtime Pit. That was going to be the original outro track for Meet Me in the Playtime Pit, and it turned into the outro track for this album. There's definitely a lot of irony in that song now, because little would I know that I would lose a good fraction of the people I was saying thank you to in that song. um, but I'm not mad about that, honestly. I think that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. um, but the yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of go back to like the whimsical roots of C1TRUS when I made that track. Hold on, before I get to the bonus track of this album, I really do gotta look at I gotta look at these riveting questions I'm getting. Would I ever try something jazzy? I technically kind of have. Under Catatronic, I definitely make a lot of kind of more old school funky like breakbeat music. I've definitely done a lot more like jungle and like future funk-esque songs under that alias. Would I do something more jazzy than future funk? Maybe. If I was given the right resources, I think I could make something interesting with that. And then Technomancer, are you a Clinker sympathizer? I hate generative AI and I think it should die. And I think the idea that artists should be replaced out of any career, like no one should be replaced in their passions whatsoever, obviously. But specifically the need to like replace specifically artists in an already hellish capitalist world that we live in modern day, I think is unnecessary. And I am very vehemently anti AI. That's how I'm gonna take that question. I hate AI. I think fictional robots are hot, but AI is a no-go for me. Not even ChatGPT, none of it. None of it. I don't like a single bit of it. And it is way too inefficient for something that should even be pushed in the current capitalist world that we live in. Anyways, the bonus track is called Caramella Dogs, and I think it's just a quick little yeah, see, boom, you get it. You get it. Truth nuke. Snap applause. Snap applause. The last C1TRUS track on this album is called Caramella Dogs, and it's just a Caramel Denson remix. So I'll play that real quick. Yeah, that one's just a little cute Caramel Dancing remix. I promise when the deeper we get into here, I'll have more things to say about stuff. But to answer a question in the chat, no, that was not me singing. That was Hatsune Miku. I don't personally own Vocaloid myself, but I saw like a little cute cover by Hatsune Miku of Caramel Dancing, and I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this album that I wouldn't already say like when I do the Splash Ducky retrospective. So we're just gonna move on forward to the next C1TRUS. There is a C1TRUS feature on the Arrow 40 versus the World album, but because of the nature of that album, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go into that one. You will hear more C1TRUS when I do the Arrow 40 stream. All right, here we go. Oh, you know what's funny? You know what's funny, Boom? Actually, you know what's funny as fuck? I tried Slim's Chicken today. That is what I had today. That is what I had for dinner today. This very night, my friend. That is what I had tonight. But yeah, so this is the next C1TRUS release. This bad boy. See, a lot of people really enjoy C1TRUS's music from the Splash and Dot era. That's a certified C1TRUS classic. This right here is my pride and joy. This right here is my pride and joy when it comes to how C1TRUS is, you know. I fuck with it so heavy. I know a lot of other people fucked with it real heavy. This is another kind of mania induced project, but the difference between that one and the one before is that this one, like, I felt like way more confident in the direction I was going with my music when I was making this. I was really happy with the direction I was going with my music, and I was just having a lot of fun. Not everything, like, even when I was like releasing the album, I kind of acknowledged that not everything in this album sounds good, but I still liked it regardless of its quality, and so I was having a good loveful time. The first track in this album that I'm gonna go through is a two-parter. And it's the intro track, which is supposed to transition into "This is the part where I kill you."
Sorry guys, I tried. I'm out of ideas. Guess I may as well take a little lick of this. Who can feel the way to find my booty back there? Oh, guess what she goes after? Booty back there. Feel the way to find my booty back there. Oh, guess what she goes after? Booty back there. Feel the way to find my booty back there. Oh, guess what she goes after? Booty back there. Feel the way to find my booty back there. Oh, guess what she goes after? Booty back there. Booty back there. A dog with pink ears, a frog, it hurts me.
All right. So lots to unpack here. The title is kind of intentionally like a Portal 2 reference. I was gonna put a Portal 2 sample in there, but it felt very cluttered with everything else that I had in there. But this is where I started getting really into making like more D&B sort of sounds. I was getting really into to the drum and bass sort of thing. The intro to this you might recognize from the last from the first album that we
Sorry,
did.
guys, I tried. I'm out of ideas. Guess I may as well take a little lick of this.
Who, you know, the dog girl bouncing off the walls after eating 40 sundaes worth of ice cream. Then this little bit here. Yeah, so Poochie, I don't know why, but like when I was making this, I like was really I was really fond of Poochie, like just like the character, like the little dog with the pink pigtails. Hold on, let me pull up a picture of her real quick, guys. There we go. 1 second. Here we go. It's getting really into. I don't know why, but like she was kind of everything to me when I when I was working on this album. I just suddenly got really obsessed with her. And I still kind of am. She's kind of iconic. I love. There's so many cool cartoon dogs out there. Um, yeah, I don't have much of a I don't have very riveting commentary on why I was really crazy about Poochie, but I was, and so there was a lot of references to like Poochie when I started this album. And then that's also like part of the Poochie commercial. I don't know if I ever continued doing that. Does this have a bonus track? It does not. I'm just making sure. But yeah, I had a vibe. I was manic, as I usually am when I make C1TRUS tracks. I was doing a little better in my life. I was out of school and kind of just doing my own thing for a little bit, chilling out, hanging out. And then I had the craziest summer motivation ever. I am the most seasonal affective bitch on the planet for a hot minute until I got something to kind of remedy my lack of motivation in the colder days. I would make so many releases in the summer. I think that's like still an ongoing thing. A lot of my releases happen when it got like warmer out, you know. Hold on, is my stuff still on board? It is, okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about that. Well, yeah, the vocals I think were from a really specific. Oh, you know what it is? It's a vocal sample that I used in a different track too. I forgot what song it is, but it's by the same girls that did the song that everyone knows as like the LPS popular theme, and it was called "Touched." Um, the sample that I used. Next up is how about you high roll some bitches? Now these tracks, these next couple tracks, I have some things to say about.
Hey, baby sugar kitten, come fuck with Tilly Bop. You hungry? Grown. Yeah, I am. For
All right. All right, now I can explain myself. Okay. So if you couldn't tell by a lot of those samples and the title, I was playing the fuck out of Toontown. I was playing the fuck out of Toontown. Sorry, I have these little 3D printed horns on my headphones, and they keep hitting against the hammock, this like mesh hammock that I have above my head, full of stuffed animals. But I was playing the fuck out of Toontown Corporate Clash, dude. That was my Roman Empire that year, and I know that for sure. I was making. I think there's actually a few Toontown sampled tracks in here, and I'll break those down like one by one. But what I will say about this one is that around the peak of around the peak of when I was playing Toontown, it was the I think the first Maple tunes that featured High Roller, I think. And that was a for those who are uninformed, there is a character named Duck Shuffler, and then there's a character named Major Player, and when they Steven Universe gem fuse together, they make a absolute goober named High Roller with his own game show and everything. And that was a pretty awesome event. But the How About You High Roll Some Bitches is just a reference to High Roller, and the chosen audio is I got it from a animatic between Duck Shuffler and Major Player. And it's not an original audio to that animatic. It's like a meme between like people that like ship their characters together. But it's this stupid fucking skit. It's like, hey sugar baby, Confuckle Tilly Bop, you hungry? Groan. Yeah, I am. At some point, it's like, for what? Jacob's Ladder with a side of Prince Albert. And then they start giving birth. And then when the baby comes out, one of them says, he has your Jacob's Ladder. And it fucking killed me. It still kind of kills me by the way that I'm talking about it, but it's such a stupid fucking video. Yeah, I was really on the tune grind, so you're gonna see a lot of tune songs on Radioactive Waste Material. But before we get into the other tune songs, I made this bad boy right here, Railbreaker. And for some reason I didn't credit the person I made this remix / bootleg from. It is a remix of a song that was kind of iconic for a little bit in the like festival EDM scene. A song by Riot 10. And I don't know what my thought process was, just besides the idea that sampling a remix sampling a dubstep song into a hardcore track would be funny as fuck. That's it. That's the post. But I remember a lot of people actually buying this one the most out of all the stuff that I made for this album. A lot of people bought the individual Railbreaker track. And let me just play through it.
In the neck brace. We in a party, we turn it up, getting reckless. All my fucking headbangers break a fucking neck, bitch. Yeah, I hear them people talking, they ain't said shit. Yeah, I need a doctor with medicine in the neck brace. Yeah, we in a party, we turn it up, getting reckless. All my fucking headbangers break a fucking neck, bitch. Break the fucking neck, bitch. motherfucking neck, bitch. Yeah. I'm a motherfucking rail breaker. Fucking neck, bitch! Yeah! I'm a motherfucking rail breaker! Fucking neck, bitch! Yeah! I'm a motherfucking rail breaker! Fucking neck, bitch! 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 Fucking neck, bitch!
Alright. Oh my goodness. That is definitely this next one's gonna be a little loud, but before I get into that, yeah, so I already explained to myself before, right 10 Railbreaker, but it was hardcore. A lot more people liked that one than I thought they would. I didn't make like my own individual video for it, but there were a lot of people on SoundCloud asking me about it. There were a lot of people like inquiring like, hey, where do I get this and stuff, like I want to use this in my set, where can I buy the track? And I just kind of, so like I think that's the, as far as individual tracks that have been bought, I think my Railbreaker remix is the one that like got bought individually the most. I think that's kind of cool. I didn't really put that much thought into it when I made it, but I'm kind of glad that it you know has the yeah, I'm happy that people like it. This next song is a another weighted one, but it also is a little bit loud, so I may need to adjust my stream volume for this one. So brace yourselves is what I'm saying to all of you at home. It's called Fail Wife. That's actually not that bad. All right. That one. Yeah. Yeah, I really fuck with the slowdown ending. So that is another Toontown. That's another Toontown autism track. That is mainly sampling the I say sampling. The entire like backing to that is Misty Monsoon's boss theme. I love Misty still. I still love Toontown. I just don't play it that much. But I I thought she was cool. I thought she was kind of like I thought she was kind of a girl fail. Thought she was kind of a fail wife. So and at the time I was also getting into Chainsaw Man. The the manga I was still kind of like trying to get into, but like I always struggle with like reading online mangas because there's not a lot of, well, I mean, there wasn't a lot of mobile friendly sites at the time that I was getting into it, but I really liked Kobeni. I thought Kobeni was a fail wife, so I just kind of put it together, making this kind of like Misty Monsoon is Kobeni track basically. Which I think was very based of me. I remember the cover for it on SoundCloud. I drew Misty. I drew Misty on the Dance Dance Revolution like machine, like Kobeni was. I was really happy with that one. I'm still pretty happy with that one. That one's pretty like cool and interesting, and I really need to make more tracks like kind of akin to that. I feel like sampling anime samples. I mean, everyone does like the weeb breakcore, you know. Some people call it lollycore, but every time I say that aloud, it leaves a very distinct taste in my mouth. But that is what people call it. They like everyone and their grandmother knows like a lollycore artist or like a just kind of weeb breakcore artist. And I was just trying to see if I could make something interesting in that sort of specific style myself, and I like to think I kind of did it. This next one is called High CPU, and it is kind of out of place for a C1TRUS track. I initially wasn't going to make this C1TRUS. I was going to make this a Splash Ducky track, but then I couldn't think of any other, you know, Splash Ducky songs, so I just kind of compiled it in with the C1TRUS album. If I wasn't a coward, the full title of this song was going to be I Need Myself a Hot Computer Dame, and if I was less of a coward, I was going to call it High CPU Objectum National Anthem. But I didn't know what my audience was. I didn't know if anyone in my audience fucked with Objectum sexuality like I do. Nowadays I don't give a fuck. So y'all deal with it. This is High CPU.
Push me and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me and then just hurt me till I get my satisfaction.
Push me and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me and then just hurt me till I get my satisfaction.
Push 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 push
Push push push push push push push push push push push push push push push push
push push push push push push push push push push push push push push push push
satisfaction.
Um, yeah, I wonder. Oh, whoops! Hold on. Whoops! I accidentally. Sorry, I have a circuit bend project behind me. It's a my pal Violet that I really wanna break beyond comprehension. Anyways, I wanna put Ultra Kill songs on it, but I keep holding it off. That's off topic though. Um, yeah. So again, like I said before, High CPU was originally going to be a Splash Ducky track, but like I couldn't think of any of the Splash Ducky tracks to justify making it a Splash release. And so I just kind of compiled it into my C1TRUS album. So it's very out of place compared to other stuff that I do under C1TRUS. And every now and then I get a little paranoid because it's implied to be a bit more risque in nature, that people are gonna look at that and then look at like the other albums that I make and be like, oh, so you're this and that the third, and I'm like, no. I just didn't feel like making High CPU its own independent release when I was working on like 5 billion C1TRUS songs. Still one of my favorites. Like I implied earlier, I was around the time that I learned what being Objectum was, and I really fucked with it. I don't talk a lot about like my plurality, but I will say that there's some people that really like kissing computers. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, that was supposed to be my homage, I guess, to the Objectum crowd at the time. Recently I made a better homage to the Objectum crowd under Catatronic, but back then I had High CPU. This next track is called Spin If You Like Men, also known as Dave and Buck doing donuts in the Denny's parking lot. This is another Toontown track! Yay! It's another Toontown track talking about Duck Shuffler and Major Player. I don't know why I was so like centered in on those two. It was kind of really funny. But yeah, this next one is also very loud, forewarning. I love that one. Yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory. That was actually one of the first songs I made as far as like chronologically as the chronological timeline goes, that was one of the first songs I made in Radioactive Waste Material, and it was just a whole lot of me goofing off. I wish I still had that like absolute like sugar high madness that I had when I first started making like these songs today. I mean, I still do sometimes, but you know, I feel like I've been making a lot more chill stuff lately. But if I ever feel like making more insane noise, ear bleeding nonsense, I'll let y'all know. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that one besides I got the sample idea in a dream where I was I want you to know that my Toontown autism was so bad that it followed me into my dreams at some point. And I was in Toon World, and I was at this like club, and they were playing Go Hard by Creation, and I was like, oh my god. And then I woke up in the morning, I was like, that would be a really funny visual if I ever sampled Go Hard by Creation. So I made a Toontown Go Hard hardcore bullshit remix to as an homage to that really hyper specific dream I had. There was more that happened in that dream than just going to the club and they were playing Creation. I remember at some point I like found myself in a weird backstage area, and I felt like I had to run for my life from something. But the only thing that was there was like a cardboard cutout of like that stupid SCP-087B like grin PNG. It was like a rectangle on a piece of cardboard. But for some reason it made me so scared in the dream. Yeah. I don't know what else I could say. It's a really long time since I had that dream. Those are the only things I fucking remember from that. I have so many weird dreams, y'all. I can't remember all of them. This next one is called Twitter Gave Me a Diamond Pick Lobotomy. And the first thing I remember about this is the second I uploaded it, someone immediately telling me that it sounded like ass, and I thought that was like, for some reason that motivated me even more. and made me like the song even more. Because it was just nonsense. It is just nonsense. Let me just play it.
To begin.
You be a rap. Tell me you're a rap. You be a rap. I think you be a rap. I think I'd be a wolf. I think so too. I'll be a wolf lying in the hybrid mix. King of the jungle still so chill and ferocious.
Dreams that he looking like a fucking troll. Why your body feels just like a light up off a air scroll. Why your arms looking like some motherfucking cheese. Any song you ever made, you need a fucking unreleased. Packing up this hoe, we gonna need a fucking medikit. Lloyd wants a junior bitch, I'm Peter Circle brand fit. And all the shit I'm talking, know these stands gon' try to ban. Why you looking like your legal name is motherfucking staying locked down? With a hunt back in his straight like you rich. Like a winning steal, I hit this beating down. Started squatting, bitch, squirting like a squirter. Fucker in the nether portal, yeah, quarter fucking line. Snapping like a thanos, got a fire in my hand and then I'm close to summer fucking blocking. Warp into the air, pick up your ass and now I'm fucking dropping. Tommy put his shaft inside your ass and then he fucking cocked it. Why you at that man? Cause you looking like a fucking
Like I'm Jeffrey Dahmer, finna eat the beat up like a cannibal. Like I'm Shane Dawson, get an animal to drink my Danimal. You look like a furry, but you aren't a mammal. You really thought that we would say you're cute, that isn't tangible. Bitch, I'm Bill Nye. I smoked earlier, but I'm still high. Dream built like a girl with some little thighs. I'm sure you're hungry, Grim, would you like a pill pie? Bitch, I'm Bill Nye. I smoked earlier, but I'm still high. Dream built like a girl with some little thighs. I'm sure you're hungry, Grim, would you like a pill pie?
dreams that he looking like a fucking troll. Why your body feels just like a light up off a air scroll. Why your arms looking like some motherfucking cheese. Any song you ever made, you need a fucking unreleased. Packing in this hoe, we gonna need a fucking medikit. Lloyd wants a junior bitch, I'm
All right, that one. Oh, brother. Like I said earlier, the first feedback I ever got with it was being told it sounds like ass, and you know what it does? God bless. God bless that it sounds like ass. I fucking love it so much because it sounds like ass. The entire concept for that, I don't know. I don't remember how recent the Dream face reveal was, even when I made that track. I just kept thinking about the Quandale Dingle Dream diss track that came out of that, and I just really, really wanted to sample that because it was a track that just took me the fuck out. I don't really care for Pat God anymore, but back when I back when I did, why do you look like your legal name is Stanley? For some reason, just stuck to me because it was so hyper specific and just bizarre. And I feel like you could say that a lot about a lot of the random bullshit that Pat God always says. But that was I don't know. That was just it was funny, and I wanted to sample it in a loud song. And so I called it Twitter Gave Me a Diamond Pick Lobotomy because I used to be in Minecraft YouTuber Twitter, and also mutuals with people that hated Minecraft YouTuber Twitter. And Twitter, when I used to have it, felt like I was actively being lobotomized because I had OCD, and there were a bunch of people like saying to my face that if I wasn't retweeting random discourse posts that I was complicit in this, that, and the third. Oh my god. Never get a Twitter if you have OCD, by the way. But this next track is called I Am Become Doomsayer 6969. And I'll get into why it's called that after you listen. All right, so that was I Become Doomsayer. That is a Terraria-ish track. So there's a lot to unpack with that. Okay, so the first layer, the backing to it, the chiptune sounds, those are tracks that are both from the Friday the 13th game for, I believe, the Super Nintendo. Let me double check that real quick. It is Friday the 13th on just the NES, not SNES, just NES. And the reason I chose that is because I wanted to do like the Dracula one that's like down, 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 down. But but I hold on. I wanted to do the Dracula chiptune, but I was like, oh, but what if people think I'm ripping off this artist? Because there's I think it was again a Runner track that used Dracula, and I wanted to really do like an old like chiptune sounding one though, so I was like, fuck it, man. And I remembered this one NES game that lived in my head rent free because of a AVGN video on it that contains a clip that was sampled by fucking Werewolf, where he's like, nobody dies in Nintendo. And it's a reference to the fact that, like, I think Friday the 13th for the NES was one of the first NES games to just tell you you're fucking dead. Because it was like, you either like, and I wanted to sample that, but there's no standalone clip of AVGN saying nobody dies in Nintendo. I'd have to download the whole video if I wanted to sample that again. But he's like, yeah, they typically just turn into an item or like float away or like puff into a cloud. And this is a game that just straight up tells you you're fucking dead. And they were right. They were right. That was it was a game that just straight up was straightforward and told you you're fucking dead. You you know? And that was pretty funny. So I decided to do Friday the 13th for the NES soundtrack, and that had some really fun sampleable things, I think. There was some really fun like little pieces in there. And then there's Sinistar samples in there. If you don't know Sinistar, hop the fuck on Sinistar. Then there is the lunatic cultist / whatever else Terraria noises in there, because I can't explain why, but I just suddenly out of nowhere was like super hyper fixated on the lunatic cultist for like a good couple of weeks while I was working on this. I mean, I still like how the lunatic cultist looks. It was mostly out of looks. I love a good plague doctor masked man, you know. That always gets me tucking my hair behind my ear, Debbie Ryan style. And yeah, I think that's the last song in Radioactive Waste Material. Not really much riveting to say about the outro track. I mean, I'll still play it, but it's just nonsense. It's just a Germa clip.
Look at this fucking bullshit. What the fuck? Do flip!
Alright, so welcome everybody to the meeting of the years. As you know, we do this meeting every single month to make sure we agree on things. So let's just get started. Cheeseburgers. Yeah. Hot dogs. Yeah. Donuts. Yeah. Bar fighting. Yeah. Mug collection. Yeah. Hot dogs. Yeah. Donuts. Yeah. Bar fighting. Yeah. Cheeseburgers. Yeah. Hot dogs. Yeah. Donuts. Yeah. Bar fighting. Yeah. Mug collection. Yeah. Hot dogs. Yeah. Donuts. Yeah. Bar fighting. Yeah.
that's the meeting of the BS has commenced. See y'all next month. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really much to say about that song. I just felt like sampling Jerma. But yeah, that was Radioactive Waste Material. What did I say? I said nothing in the description for Radioactive Waste Material. I just let y'all have this one. It just seems pretty accurate. That's kind of how it was at the time. I was just vomiting my expression all over the place. I'm expressing it. Before we wrap this up, let me decide real quick whether or not I want to actually, because there is a singular standalone C1TRUS track in Aero 40 versus the World that I could technically just drop on you guys real quick. If I do, it's gonna be the only, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is gonna be the last song I talk about, and then I will leave you guys to it. It is a C1TRUS track. It's a standalone C1TRUS track in the Aero 40 versus the World album, the only album I was able to put on Spotify without complications somehow. That wasn't Pilot Technonomicon. And the C1TRUS track is called Snorting Lines of Pixie Sticks and Arma Motherfucking Getting. Fuck the world, fuck its hot dog kids, and fuck their sunglasses. And it goes a little something like this. Yeah. I remember I heard a few other artists that I really liked sampling Psycho Teddy and getting into legal complications, but I really wanted to sample Psycho Teddy. So I thought of the genius plan of countering copyright with another copyright song. So the instrumental that you heard in the back there is the Gummy Bear song. It's instrumental to I'm a Gummy Bear, with the vocals of Psycho Teddy. And just a whole lot of bullshit. That's what it is. A whole lot of bullshit. I distinctly remember Aero 40 versus the World being made after my a short period after my performance at a underground rave that I adored very much in high school, and that's all I'll say about that, because I do want to do next time a Error 040 retrospective. That's going to be the one that I do next, after this stream. But yeah, I don't know what else I could say about that. The title, the parentheses, is a reference to a really specific Tumblr blog. I think it was just called like just teen thing. Hold on. Their name is just on like the top of my head. Okay, yeah, teenagerposts.tumblr.com. And the full image is to my ex, fuck you, fuck your cartoon hot dog husband, fuck his stupid sunglasses, and fuck the ketchup kids. And then it's crop text at the bottom that says, and fuck their sunglasses. And I don't know why teenager posts on tumblr.com suddenly got my attention so much back then, but it was one of those things where I was like, this is the funniest thing ever to me. So naturally, I sampled it. Not much to say about any other Citrus track that I have on SoundCloud or YouTube. I know there's the La Bamba but Fucked Up, and I know there's a few other stragglers and newer stuff, but I'll get to that some other time in the near future, or far future, really, because I'm still working on that other Citrus album. But yeah, this is I guess where I leave y'all to it, you know. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do more of these in the future, where I just kind of play, hi, you made it to the end of the stream. I'm gonna definitely do more of these where I just kind of like play like the music that I've previously made, and then just like commentate like what I was thinking of. Yes, you did catch the very end. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much to say. I'm gonna try and do these more just because it's like fun to like look back at my music, and I do admittedly re-listen to a lot of my old music just to compare and contrast how far I've come. And I think Citrus is definitely the most jarring example of that. I mean, if you go to a timestamp of like the beginning of this VOD and then go to the end of this shit, that is not the same. That is not the same song. But yeah, I am gonna see you on the flip side, I guess. You know? Here, look at Freddy Freaker. Say bye to Freddy Freaker. And I will catch y'all whenever I feel like doing one of these again.